We say good evening to our guests, Brigadier B.D. Mishra, RSN Singh and Sushant Sareen, strategic affairs expert, also joining us this evening. From Pakistan, we've got two experts joining us. Lieutenant Colonel Shafqat Saeed joining us from Islamabad. Next to him is Qamar Cheema, a defense analyst. Let me come to you first, Qamar Cheema. That we've just compiled here, it's literally just the tip of the iceberg, but it should be enough to start off this debate. If we speak about Zakir Rahman Lakhvi, the 26/11 mastermind, Pakistan is yet to acquit him. The whole world acknowledges what his role was. Several witnesses, including David Headley, have come out and given testimony, but there has been no action. Syed Salahuddin, the whole world acknowledges, is a terrorist, is now a globally designated global terrorist, but Pakistan and Sartaj Aziz are openly backing him. You're also backing the JUD chief, Hafiz Saeed. You're also harboring the JEM chief, Masood Azhar. Right now, US has already moved a proposal which has been backed by most countries, barring you and your so-called friend China, to be designated, to be put on the ban list by United Nations. And of course, let's not forget where Osama bin Laden was found and killed. Let's also not forget that the recent London attack in June 2017 saw one of the attackers was a Pakistani origin guy. So, what is happening? Why are all the biggest terrorists found and harbored and encouraged in Pakistan? Is there a special fund that your Pakistani government and ISI have together that you use to protect these people? Is that what it is?
Well, I'm a university teacher, and I believe that this is the age of death of reason. You just cannot have things
in your
with
country,
logic
sure,
and reason.
that reason died a long time ago.
Logic.
Please
Would you listen? Let me finish the argument.
Okay.
I have not just taken a first breath of
Go
my
ahead.
argument.
No, go ahead.
Thank you. Hope you understand you are not doing right. So, you know, what we have been understanding is that in the American foreign policy is on sale. And if you can give $2 billion, you can buy a drone and you can declare someone a terrorist. So if foreign policies will move like this way, the way Americans are moving, and the way Indians are coming up with buying weapons and getting things done for themselves, similarly, the American foreign policy in Middle East is on sale. No, Taiwan got the weapons, everything fine. You know, Qatar got weapons, everything is fine. So India got the weapons, everything is fine. And today we have got, you know, State Department clarified the position that the call that Kashmir is a disputed territory. I think United States has violated international law and UN Security Council resolutions by declaring someone who is a freedom fighter, who speaks for the people of Kashmir, a terrorist, because he is the one who is asking that Security Council and international community must fulfill
I am amazed. I am amazed, Qamar Cheema. I know you wanted to start off with some reason. I know you wanted to start off with some reason. I started off with a big list of terrorists. Some who have been mentioned as terrorists by United Kingdom, some by United States, some by other European nations, including Osama bin Laden. And what you come back to me with, Qamar Cheema, is to say United States is the one that's violating laws, is in violation. Sushant Sareen.
Does India believe in international law?
Maybe Pakistan should drag United States to any international court of justice it wants to, and we'll see how the world takes Pakistan seriously.
Violations in Kashmir going on, and nobody takes that.
Okay, Qamar Cheema, you made your point. You made your point, sir. Come on, let other people also respond to it now.
Sure.
So Tanvi, here is the thing, you know, if a university professor makes the kind of bizarre arguments which this gentleman is making, it tells you a lot about what the future, what the current and the future of Pakistan is going to be. Quite clearly, you know, there is no introspection inside Pakistan, and they're living in this bubble of theirs, which is a bubble of their own making. Now, frankly, I think there's a big difference between international law, which apparently the professor has not an adequate understanding of, and the Sharia law, which probably according to which they can punish anybody depending on what they want. I think there's a big difference. Now the point is that Sayyid Salahuddin, by every stretch of imagination, is a terrorist. He is, you look at his statements, whether it is sending suicide bombers into India, whether it is the claim made by the Hizbul Mujahideen of the Pathankot attacks, whether it is the other attacks which the Hizbul Mujahideen has claimed, which incidentally killed not only soldiers and security personnel, but have also been responsible for killing civilians. During the 90s and the early 2000s, the Hizbul Mujahideen, and even today, the Hizbul Mujahideen has been responsible for the deaths of thousands of Kashmiris, not even hundreds. And they have been killed with the sheer brutality which only these kind of despicable characters can summon. They have been responsible not only for killing Kashmiri Muslims, they have also been responsible for killing Kashmiri Hindus. Now, by every stretch of imagination, given the links with Sayyid Salahuddin as the chief of United Jihad Council, which has many designated, internationally designated, including by the UN terrorist organizations under its umbrella, he has to be called a terrorist. Now, this was an anomaly because the US had already listed the Hizbul Mujahideen under the label of other terrorist organizations. Now, how can the leader of a terrorist organization not be a terrorist? And that is an anomaly which even the Chinese refuse to see for now. The Americans have understood it and they have corrected that anomaly. Now, for a man like Sartaj Aziz to talk about, or somebody else talking about foreign policy for sale, for a country which has acted as a mistress of other countries and has sold itself for the highest bidder, to talk about foreign policy on sale is, I think, rather rich coming from the Pakistanis. At every stage, because somebody was giving them something, if the Saudis give them something, they opened themselves out for them. They acted as mercenaries for the Saudis. They've acted as mercenaries for the Chinese. They've acted as mercenaries for the Americans. At every stage, they've acted as mercenaries. For them to talk about anybody selling foreign policy, I think it's rather,
Sushant, I believe
both ironical and not even true.
Absolutely, and I believe the point that you made right there, that's perhaps why Pakistan doesn't care even right now. Tomorrow, US may cut down on their financial aid, may relook at their deals, may even expand the scope of the drone strikes, which they very well are already seriously considering. But the Pakistan's response is, oh, we've got China now, so we don't care. Go ahead and do that, because we don't really care about international norms or even human rights. As long as there is somebody to back us, we continue to harbor and create new world records every day as far as encouraging terrorism and harboring terrorists are concerned. RSN Singh?
Yeah, as long as somebody is willing to foot their bill, because they won't foot their own bill.
And here is Sayyid Salahuddin. Brigadier, just coming to you.
They live on doles.
I have got...
Yes, Brigadier, just coming to you. Just go across to RSN Singh.
Professor Cheema. Tanvi, I have got a question for Professor Cheema.
Okay, RSN Singh, please hold on. Let Brigadier Mishra come in first. Yes, please go ahead, sir. You have a question for Kamar Cheema.
I have got a question for Professor Cheema.
Yeah.
First thing, Professor Cheema has talked about international community and Security Council. Before I ask him the question, I want to ask on Shaukat, why have you not brought Pirzada today? Anyway, that's a part. Professor Cheema, tell me one thing. Where you on this earth? Professor Cheema, where you on this earth? On 15th of December 1971. Security Council, which you are now saying that it is a very pious institution and we should care for that, US should care for that. In that one, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, he had gone, made a speech on 15 December 1971 and he had torn off the resolution. He had torn off the resolution of Security Council. How do you reconcile with that? Because when you get beating, then you say that, look, Security Council is great, international community is great. But when it comes to Salahuddin, you say Salahuddin is great, Osama bin Laden is great. And then Tariq Aziz says that we are diverting the attention. I think, Professor, be truthful to your intellectual pursuit, which you say you are doing in a university. Be truthful. Don't be intellectually bankrupt or dishonest. At least be intellectually correct.
Kamar Cheema.
Where you started from and where you ended, I cannot understand you, Brigadier Sahab.
Oh,
I really
started
respect
from
you. You have served
because in an army man,
one of the largest military in the world, which is the largest human rights violator in the world.
More than you, and I keep on seeing him, so I am inquiring about his health. Today his health is looking down.
Let me finish.
Today his health is looking down, and he is looking morose.
Sir, let me finish.
I inquired about his health and inquired about his health. Now you start, Chima. Let me see what you have to say about that tearing off the Security Council resolution by Zulfikar Ali Bhutto in December 1971, if you were on earth.
Okay, Kamal Chima. So at one point of time you wanted to tear off the Security Council
let me tell
paper, and now you want to be part of the same Security Council.
Do you know
that's the question he's asking you.
Do you know what were those resolutions?
Yes,
let me finish the argument.
Indian Army was defeating Pakistan.
Do you know?
Indian Army,
which were those
Pakistan Army was surrendering to Indian Army.
Those were the resolutions which the
Army was surrendering to Indian Army.
We were with the international community and they didn't fulfill the promises with us.
And your leader was desperate.
Does not fulfill our
Pakistan
promise.
Army
We have every right to be out of that.
And you were desperate.
So what is the linkage
I was fighting on that front, and I was instrumental in defeating your army. I was instrumental in defeating your army. Probably you were not on earth.
Your perspective is totally wrong, Brigadier Saab. This is 21st century.
Okay.
I think
that
I have a serious problem with the times.
Okay, take a breather, both of you. Take a breather, both of you. I want to bring the focus back on Syed Salahuddin. RSN Singh, Syed Salahuddin, let's put it in context. Who is this man that Pakistan is defending today so openly? They're literally parroting his line. And we've made that graphics to show the comparison between what Syed Salahuddin said and what Sartaaj Aziz is saying. And we'll pull that up for our viewers as well. Because Syed Salahuddin says this is a conspiracy hatched by India, US and Israel. And Sartaaj Aziz says this is a conspiracy, this is a joint team effort by India and United States, that US is doing this to appease to India. Look at the similarities, RSN Singh, on what the Pakistani government is officially saying and what a terrorist is saying. US is favoring India, pressurizing Pakistan. They're acting against us just to appease India and sell their defense weapons to India, is what Salahuddin says. And so does the Pakistani government. And they both claim Syed Salahuddin is a Kashmiri freedom fighter. The same Kashmiri freedom fighter whose men are spreading the caliphate and its ideology in Kashmir.
Now look, whatever knowledge, little knowledge of diplomacy I have, I mean this statement, by Sartaaj Aziz, who is also the advisor, by the way, to the Prime Minister, that the Americans are getting close to India. These statements are never made. Let me tell you, you will never find this kind of a statement. You don't try and burn bridges with even the worst of your enemies, and especially not United States. So it clearly shows that Pakistan is rattled. The second point is that look, for 27 years this man called Syed Salahuddin, he has been using the soil of Pakistan to carry out jihad against India. And well, let me remind my Pakistani guests that his original name was Syed Yusuf Shah, but in accordance with the jihadi criminal enterprise that exists in Pakistan, and warned for those some heroes of some era, some criminals, he changed his name to Salahuddin, who was some third-rate military leader in 12th century. And then he started that demeanor of that beehive demeanor on the lines of Hafiz Saeed and Masood Azhar. You understand that beehive demeanor that I am talking about? He changed his demeanor after that. He also changed his name. Now the interesting part is that 5 of his sons are here in India, working for the Indian government. They have taken oath by the Indian Constitution. So 5 sons, 2 daughters, 1 wife. So my esteemed guests from Pakistan, this is plebiscite for you. 8 of his family members are here, working for India. I mean, the Indian state has not gone, I mean, they have not made any victims out of them because of their, misdeeds of their dad or the father.
But
and here is one man with you. So this is plebiscite for you. The second thing is that if you say that it is indigenous, then what is this Punjabi called Hafiz Saeed doing? What is this Punjabi from Bhavalpur called, Maulana Masood Azhar, who have come out, who have been supporting and holding, joint rallies in Muzaffarabad? What are these damn Punjabis doing with Kashmiris? और सुनिए आप गेस्ट लोग कश्मीर के, थोड़ा सा साहब आप लाहौर चले जाइए, अभी कुछ आप शायद एक आध लाहौर में बैठे होंगे, आप थोड़ा मीनारे वो पाकिस्तान के चले जाइए और वहां जो जितने ये मूंगफली और चने बेचते हैं ना, आप उनसे पूछिए, वो सारे के सारे पीओके के हैं, वो सारे के सारे पीओके हैं, उनसे आप बात कीजिए और आपको बताएंगे कि आपकी मिलिट्री ने उनको वहां से कैसे
लेफ्टिनेंट कर्नल शफकत सईद
फेंक दिया वहां।
लेफ्टिनेंट कर्नल शफकत सईद,
ये जो आपके
दिस मैसेज इज फॉर यू सर, सुन लीजिए।
दिस बोगी
जी सुन रहा हूँ।
या जस्ट डोंट स्माइल, डोंट स्माइल कर्नल
साहब को बहुत शौक से सुनता हूँ।
साहब गो, अभी चले जाइए आप मीनारे, अभी नहीं शाम को जाइएगा, सारे मूंगफली और चने बेचने वाले मीनारे पाकिस्तान के चारों तरफ आपको पीओके के लोग मिलेंगे। नाउ you are trying to tell the world that this is an indigenous jihad. Now there is one commonality. There is one commonality, Colonel Saab, between you and Sayyid Salahuddin. He has also said that he will prepare Kashmiri suicide bombers, but not his sons. He will never turn his sons into suicide bombers. And similarly, none of your children. आज जो वो आपके प्रोफेसर साहब गाली दे रहे थे ना, he was abusing the United States. Let me tell you, he has picked up this act.
कोई गाली नहीं देता। पाकिस्तानी को आप गाली देते हुए नहीं सुनेंगे। प्रोफेसर साहब ने कोई गाली नहीं निकाली। कोई पाकिस्तानी गाली नहीं देता।
नहीं।
Sir, that is a way of talking. That is a way of talking. Lieutenant Colonel Shafkat Saeed, the point that RSN Singh is making, the point that RSN Singh is making is look at who you are trying to defend here. Who is this man? What are his values? What are his intentions? Lieutenant Colonel Shafkat Saeed,
I hold you in such high esteem. I hold you in such high esteem, but let me tell you, and then you are proudly, he is saying that, we are coming closer to Russia and we have Russians with us. अरे आपको शर्म नहीं आ रही है? You use the jihadi machinery at the behest of the Americans.
प्लीज अगर मैं अर्ज करने की इजाजत दें तो मैं आपको एक बात अर्ज करना चाहता हूं।
और आज आपका रशिया दोस्त बन गया।
RSN साहब, मैं आपसे गुजारिश करना चाहता हूं, अगर आपको याद हो तो नेहरू साहब के जमाने में हिंदी चीनी भाई थे, लेकिन वो हिंदी चीनी भाई का पांसा इतना जल्दी पलटा कि कोई हद ही नहीं है। वही हिंदी चीनी आपस में लड़ पड़े और 62 की लड़ाई हो गई। अभी आप देखें, पाकिस्तान और अमेरिका के ताल्लुकात देख लें और आज के ताल्लुकात देख लें, इसी तरह भारत के और रूस के ताल्लुकात देख लें और आज के ताल्लुकात देख लें, तो इंटरनेशनल अफेयर्स देयर इज नथिंग परमानेंट. Everything is fluid and ever changing, all the time changing.
I totally agree with you.
And the successful one is that he always kept on the emerging
I
situation.
Totally agree with you,
and
sir.
he's always on the turf, not on the sinks.
Yes.
And I would ask you that that
but an advisor to the Prime Minister,
China, Russia,
this is the reality.
and the emerging new IR situation,
no,
and we have gone so far off across the seas to America. I would suggest that be part of GPAC, be part of the emerging arrangement.
Talked about China, एक हमारा मशवरा है आपको.
आपने जो अना का मसला बता दिया, you made Kashmir.
Colonel साहब, you have talked about China. Colonel साहब, एक हमारा मशवरा है आपको.
Kashmir should be Pakistan.
Colonel साहब,
we have our own civilization.
Green flag there.
Gentlemen, please, my request to all of you, hold on a minute. 4 of you are talking together. Our viewers across the world will not be able to understand you. Brigadier Mishra, please hold on a minute. I'm going to come to you. Lieutenant Colonel Shafkat Saeed, my question to you. Lieutenant Colonel Shafkat Saeed, please explain to me. Okay. Leave aside the changing narrative. It's odd that an advisor to Pakistani PM wants to sit and say, अच्छा आज हम उनके साथ दोस्त थे, अब हम उनके साथ दोस्त बन गए, वो उनके दोस्त बन गए, इसलिए सब बदल रहा है. I don't know, like RSS pointed out, I don't know if that's how it works in diplomatic language at that level and platform. Leave that aside, sir. Sir, रुकिए एक मिनट, मेरा सवाल भी सुन लीजिए. मेरा एक आपसे सवाल है, मेरे एक सवाल का भी जवाब दे दीजिए. लेफ्टिनेंट कर्नल शफकत Saeed, my question to you is, Syed Salahuddin is a man who advocates violence. Syed Salahuddin is a terrorist who advocates mass murder.
Ahead of Hafiz Saeed.
Let's not outshout each other. Listen to me. Syed Salahuddin is a man who says we are okay, we are open to support from Al-Qaeda or even the Islamic State. He said this in the past. Today he may say different things. We are okay for support from Islamic State or Al-Qaeda, whoever wants to come and join our so-called Kashmir struggle. You're telling me you want to sit and back a man who's ready to join hands with the biggest terror organization in the world?
No, he never said this.
Of course he has said this, sir. There are clippings. He has every time he has used a platform that your country has given him to hold a rally, to incite violence, to advocate violence. He has said these things. He has said these things.
He wants international.
He advocates violence in the name of jihad every single time. Lieutenant Colonel Shafkat Saeed is shocking that you will sit here and defend such a man. Brigadier B.D. Mishra wants to come in. Brigadier Mishra.
Colonel
Shaukat, you have. Let me tell you.
First thing. पिरज़ादा साहब को टाइम्स नाउ ने नहीं इनवाइट किया.
नहीं सुनिए शौकत साहब, मैं तो आपकी सेहत की बात कर रहा था. थोड़े आप मायूस लग रहे थे, इसलिए मैं पूछा. आप सुनिए, देखिए, I must tell you that you are comparing two terrorists. You are comparing two terrorists whom you are harboring, and you are saying today Salahuddin is better than another terrorist. Now that is your strategy and that is your state policy. Now about China, I want to tell you you never said Osama bin Laden is terrorist. You never said Osama bin Laden. Colonel साहब सुनिए, you never. अरे सुनिए साहब, वो तो आपका हीरो था. This man is also a hero. But one thing I want. Colonel Shaukat, let me tell you.
Tell me, do you believe in?
Colonel Shaukat, let me tell you, I am at least 10 years older than you. I am at least 10 years older than you, and I want to advise you and kindly convey to your country. The country. Listen.
Bear me out. Where is Osama bin Laden?
Colonel Shaukat, listen. I know about China. You are so proud of China, but let me tell you, the day their OBOR is made, the day their cantonments are up, they will kick Rawalpindi and they will have direct negotiation with Baluchistan, and they will dominate their own land. They will not trust you. They will not trust you. Your 16,000 security men on OBOR of China, they'll be dismissed.
All right, in fact, let me draw all of your attention to this latest picture that we are getting. For our viewers, that's Syed Salahuddin with Raja Farooq Haider, the puppet Prime Minister of Pakistani occupied Kashmir. Look at those two. And that's Raja Farooq Haider, who's also come out and spoken in support of Syed Salahuddin, saying that he is our pride and he is our crown. That's what Pakistani leaders have to say. Arey sir, why are you getting angry? You are all also supporting Syed Salahuddin. So are your leaders. He's a pride and he's a crown and a jewel for every Pakistani. Okay, we get the point. Sushant Sareen, we get the point. Now perhaps the world needs to start noting all of these things. So Sushant, we very closely track this. We know the reality, but this reality needs to be shown to everybody, so that there is a stricter action. Perhaps then Pakistan will realize. What do you think?
No, I think, Tanvi, we have been remiss in, really highlighting Pakistan's role to the extent that we should. And we have often, over the past so many years, decided that we will ignore, the kind of baseless and stupid propaganda which comes out from Pakistan, and we'll treat it with the contempt it deserves by ignoring it. But I think that's been a counterproductive move on our part, and I think it's important for us to engage the international community and tell them the reality of Pakistan. Take, for example, the Prime Minister of Pakistan holding a brief for a self-confessed terrorist like Burhan Wani on the floor of the UN General Assembly. Now, okay, he was harming himself and Pakistanis were shooting themselves in the foot, that at a time when the entire international community is reeling under the impact of Islamists running amok all over the world, for the Pakistani Prime Minister to hold the brief for an Islamist terrorist in the UN, I think was shooting themselves in the foot. But we should have played upon it and we should have highlighted what he was doing. Similarly, on this whole business of Syed Salahuddin, the kind of actions which have happened today, I think we should play this up. We should tell the international community how the Pakistani state and society, and I would repeat, state and society is hand in glove with terrorists. There are these 300-500 people who are Pakistan's interface with rest of the world, who talk very nice stuff and have this very liberal veneer around them. But the fact of the matter is that's not the reality of Pakistan. The reality of Pakistan is what this professor is saying and what Colonel Shafqat Saeed says. That is the reality of Pakistan, and that tells you about the mindset in Pakistan and the kind of outlook in Pakistan and their worldview, which is a jihadist Islamist worldview, which is intolerant and cannot stay in peace with anybody else in the world. And this is what we need to highlight. The kind of actions, statements and the kind of public utterances of all these fellows, I think this is the strongest tool in our hands. This is what we need to actually apprise the rest of the world of Pakistan's true face, and we have not done this to the extent that we should have. And just one more point, because I know then the shouting is going to start by these two fellows. The fact of the matter is, and this is where I join issue with you on the question which you asked in the beginning of your show. Yeah. While we are looking at the international community that Pakistan is a terrorist state, my question to my government is, what prevents us from, treating Pakistan as a terrorist state? Why are we so keen on trying to improve or trying to keep some kind of relationship with them alive? We should take the lead in this, and we should put in place a series of measures on how, if anybody does business with a terrorist state like Pakistan, we will have no truck with those people. So I think we need to start in putting those measures. It can be a calibrated action, and I'm sure the government can think of very, very useful methods to take to put these people in the dock. I don't know why we are not doing it when we expect the rest of the world to do the heavy lifting for us. So I think it's about time we fire our own gun rather than trying to fire our gun from somebody else's shoulder.
Absolutely, point taken there. But I want to go back to our Pakistani guests at this point and ask them, because they keep saying that we and in fact their crown and their jewel. Syed Salahuddin also says, oh, we are cracking down on terror, and so does Sartaaj Aziz. Oddly, they say the same thing even there. Lieutenant Colonel Shafqat Saeed or Qamar China, whichever one of you wants to take it up. Where is this crackdown on terror? Tell us what you have done, because nobody in this world seems to be convinced. Who have you managed to convince of your fight against terror? I don't think even China is very convinced of that.
Ma'am, no, China is very much convinced. China would always...
China is very much concerned about the attacks that are taking place in their territory, sir, to which Pakistani links have emerged.
I would just speak of Pakistan.
I am sure you know about that. Or maybe they don't let that information flow to you in Pakistan.
Main baat kar loon, ma'am?
Ji.
I beg you, please permit me to talk.
Go ahead,
please. Remind me of my school days when I used to beg my teacher, may I go to drink water? May I speak, ma'am?
Boliye.
Ma'am, I would totally agree with Sishant Tareen, and as he says, Pakistan cannot change the stance on Kashmir or on Hafiz Saeed or on Syed Salahuddin. I would suggest that either India should realize the reality or should pursue the same line, and instead of going around the bush or beating about the bush or jumping ahead of the gun, please use gun. Please take your actions, whether military or political. Please declare Pakistan a terrorist state yourself. please put sanctions on Pakistan, slap sanctions on Pakistan, economic sanctions on Pakistan, and please initiate your own self these steps.
This is the first sensible thing I've ever heard from Shaukat Saeed.
You keep your political relations, and you rant so much, you talk war on this television so much. I think talking is very easy, clamoring war is very easy, but facing it in reality is not that easy. And that is the reason that you only talk. Please take an action. Please do a real surgical strike on this side of the border instead of the camera there.
You're right, Shaukat Saeed. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Sushant Sareen says this is the first sensible thing that's come out of you. I would add to that. You've made your point, sir. You've made your point. You've made your point. Let me respond to you. Let me respond to you as I take it to our other panelists. You've made your point. You're absolutely right. You only talk, unlike the Pakistanis who on ground invest so much in training and harboring terrorism and exporting it to the entire world.
No, we
don't do that. We don't do that. You guys do that. RSN Singh wanted to respond to you. He had something to say while you were talking. Everybody has patiently heard you, Lieutenant Colonel Shaukat Saeed. Now, I would request you to show the same courtesy to RSN Singh.
For the first time in my whole 5-year stay with Times Now.
Colonel Saab, एक minute. देखिए, what Sushant has said is absolutely correct, about, further leveraging on this, whatever, gains that has been made. Let me tell you, the process of designating somebody as a global terrorist in the United States is altogether, based on their own threat perceptions. And unless there is a threat to the United States of America, they do not designate someone as a global terrorist. But the fact of the matter is that yes, this designation, what it has done is that your claim that this so-called independence movement or whatever you like to call in Kashmir Valley is indigenous, that myth has been busted by the Americans and to the larger international community. Now, you are absolutely right, Colonel, when you said yes, geopolitical. There is always a geopolitical flux. We are in consonance with that reality. But also, let me tell you, in the joint statement, Colonel, the very significant thing has been said. It's a line that is doing away with safe havens. And Colonel, may I tell you that the Americans have set a precedence and a paradigm as far as, targeting safe havens in Pakistan are concerned. So we are now at liberty. We are now at liberty in dealing with you in the same manner. So wait, do not get so, so much rattled. We will follow the same precedence and the same paradigm which any sovereign country should take against a terrorist state.
Brigadier B.D. Mishra, you would agree, isn't it? This is a different era. This is a different time between Prime Minister Modi and President Trump. Pakistan shouldn't be so sure that there won't be actual concrete action militarily, strategically or financially.
I want to respond, and also I want to address it to Professor Cheema. Now, he must understand that earlier he was blaming India. In 1971, they blamed India and Russia, USSR, and now they are blaming US for violating international norms. Now, how many countries he is going to blame? How many countries they are going to blame? Every country, wherever Modi has gone, our Prime Minister Modi ji, every country says that you are the mothership of all terrorism. And why they are saying? Because Pervez Musharraf, he has called all these people his hero and Pakistan's hero. He went to the extent of calling Osama bin Laden hero. And mind you, let me tell you very frankly, that your generals, they were bribed by America, and that is how they had switched off the lights in Abbottabad, and you were instrumental in helping the Americans to kill Osama bin Laden.
After they harbored him for these many years, after they harbored him and lied about having him on their own territory until they thought it was useful to use that leverage, Brigadier Mishra. Brigadier Mishra, I must point out, Brigadier Mishra, that Lieutenant Colonel Shafkat Saeed is a little upset. You're not talking to him too much. You're directing all your questions towards Qamar Chima. And you're leaving him out. But Qamar Chima, you want to respond to this? How many countries are you going to blame for what you're actually doing on your own soil?
Shafkat is a gunner.
Case good, so now it's my turn.
Your turn. Go ahead.
I'm an infantry officer.
Shafkat Saeed,
I'm a
he's a gunner.
infantry officer, sir.
Shafkat, you are a gunner. And he fires from behind.
I'm not a gunner.
Colonel Shafkat is a gunner.
No, he's not a gunner, he says.
I'm an infantry officer.
You're not an artillery man.
Very good.
I'm a light infantry officer.
Then at least.
And a mechanized infantry officer.
Very good. Very good. Then
I
at
used
least
to
face the reality.
Far deep.
Then be in front of Chima. Then don't duck down behind Chima.
You know, I'm
you are infantry man and you should be in front. Today you are behind Chima.
And this brigade is up.
Okay, so Qamar Chima, let's get to Qamar Chima. So the point is,
first of all, I would like
how many countries will you put the blame on, as Brigadier Mishra pointed out? How many times will you deny this? Now you can put the blame on United Kingdom, you can put the blame on Russia, you can put the blame on United States, you can always blame India, but how long?
Become dishonest, they won't listen to you.
Qamar Chima.
You know, well, you know, first of all, what I want to request you to have more young, energetic people in the studio who can live in present, who do not go past decades old. So we need to move away from this history.
You and young.
This story.
You and young and you and energy.
Much better.
I think you have already become.
Qamar Chima, let me just put it like that. Qamar Chima, let me just put it like that. Even our elderly and experienced people are enough to put youngsters of Pakistan in place. So you think twice before you speak here and make personal comments. You think twice before you say anything here. Qamar Chima. Qamar Chima.
Shafkat is more energetic than
Mind your language, please. Show some respect. At least that's the courtesy we have here in India. I don't know what you guys are taught there in Pakistan. We show our respect here in India to everyone. I don't know what you guys are taught in Pakistan. Perhaps you all got so carried away. Perhaps you all got so carried away by training terrorists and speaking the language of a jihadi that you think it's all right to even sit in a TV studio and talk like that.
What sort of language I am speaking?
You are intellectually bankrupt. And you have got
what
no
sort
manners,
of language I am speaking?
and you have got
disrespectful.
Bring the
if you understand that word.
This is what I am saying.
Disrespectful if you understand that word. Disrespectful if you understand that word.
I have not heard anybody talk in the present. We are sitting in 2017.
I have not heard any teacher.
We need to talk today. What's happening? What we need to do that today? Do not go decades old. Give me logic that is relevant today. And what you are talking, Brigadier Saab, what you are talking, Brigadier Saab, I think till the time India is a human rights violator, we will be speaking against India.
You and human rights
violator.
You and human rights.
And let me tell you, be it United States, be it anyone else, if the one who speaks against Pakistan's national interest will go against that country, will speak against those people. So do not tell me the lesson. Do not tell me the stain.
Qamar Chima.
We have to tell you.
Qamar Chima.
Qamar
Chima. Qamar Chima.
You have to learn.
Answer my one question. Answer my one question. Answer my one question.
What is the perspective?
Answer my one question. Apart from this big group of terrorists that you have against your name, what is it that your country has to be proud of? What is it that you've done in the last 60 years that you can sit there and show disrespect to any other person sitting on this panel? What have you done? Your economy is in shambles. Your economy is in shambles. You literally survive on aid that is given from the rest of the world. And you use that money to brainwash your own people, kill your own people, carry out atrocities on your own people in Balochistan and Pakistani occupied Kashmir, and you use that money to export terrorism. Where have you guys taken your own country to sit there and comment on us and on any of our panelists? RSN saying it's completely futile really to even try and have a rational conversation with some of these Pakistanis, RSN saying.
We want to support the people who are who are facing human rights violations in India.
Yeah.
But
what I want
we are
oh, please support the people who are facing human rights violation in India. You are a joke. Your country is a joke. What kind of violations are happening in your own country that you've closed your eyes towards? Please first go and see that.
Which face India can go to United
RSN Singh,
Nations?
please.
Or how you can be the permanent member of the UN Security Council resolution? Do the human rights violators?
How can I talk? How can I talk?
Do the human rights qualify Security Council seat? Do they qualify? I don't see in which world order we are living.
Yeah. Professor Saab, let's not talk of human rights violations. The number of attacks you had during Ramzan, including the last one on the auspicious day of Eid in Park Chinar in Khurram.
The largest human rights violator.
No. Yeah, you killed so many Shias. Your Lashkar-e-Jangvi, with whom your Prime Minister has a political partnership.
Do you know
who held in his election? Lashkar-e-Jangvi carried out attack against Shias in Park Chinar, Khurram, and you are talking about
those
human rights. Now let me tell you, Professor Saab, there is nothing, Professor Saab,
do you know the concept
of nothing, there is no phenomenon called local jihad.
Concept of
all jihadi groups are global jihadi groups.
Half-Veto concept.
Therefore, Sayyid Salahuddin or whether it is Hafiz Saeed or Mullah Masood Azhar, they are all part of the larger framework of global jihad. So don't cry. Don't cry when Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, which is also a part of the global jihad, it goes and strikes your army public schools. Arey sharam karo yaar. You created, you are taking advantage of that larger global jihad. You know, wherever it suits you, whether it is Haqqani group in Afghanistan or whether it is here in Kashmir by way of Sayyid Salahuddin or apne bacche. When your own children become victims of global jihad, then you go and launch a Zarb-e-Azm.
Terror sponsoring state.
RSN Singh, there is no point. RSN Singh, there is no point. I am genuinely disappointed today. I am genuinely disappointed today. Perhaps it's just a reflection of the frustration that several of our Pakistani guests also have with the way their government has to handle this and the constant embarrassment, Sushant Sareen, that they have to face at the international level now. Closing remarks from you, Sushant Sareen.
Well, you know, the kind of stuff we've heard today, this is precisely, you know, if you read the book of Stroop Talbot on, you know, his engagement with India, he talks about this, that even during official diplomatic meeting, when there was some disagreement between the Pakistanis and the Americans, there were Pakistani diplomats who actually lunged across the table and tried to assault the American diplomats. So this is something similar what is happening. You ask a straight question, you get a roundabout answer, you have these you know, unnecessary rants from them. It was a very simple question that here is a man who by his track record, by his actions and his entire background is undisputably a terrorist. He has been declared as one by the strongest country in the world, and this probably is now going to have a ripple effect. Yet in Pakistan he is given a free hand. Now this was a very simple issue, and the Pakistanis either should have defended it or should have explained why in their country, as you very rightly asked them, they allow these terrorists to run amok and give them all sorts of protection, patronage and what have you. But this was never answered, and instead you know, this was a sort of fake philosophy lesson on what is a freedom fighter, which certainly Sayyid Salahuddin is not, because he's a mercenary, he's a terrorist, and he's you know, somebody who acts as a puppet in the hands of the Pakistanis, for the Pakistanis. Also the fact that he and his ilk, including somebody like Zakir Musa, have left no stone unturned to make clear what their agenda is, which is that they want to have a kind of an Islamic state in Kashmir. And this is not only Zakir Musa, even Even somebody like Sayyid Ali Gilani, who is supposed to be their mentor and philosopher and guide, has said as much, that I want an Islamic Kashmir. Now, if in the face of this is the kind of logic you hear from these people, then I think we should use these kind of clips
all we can
and show
tell
to
them,
the rest of the world of what kind of unreasonable.
All we can tell them is, you know, that wake up and realize even your men whom you have trained and radicalized don't believe and don't call it the Kashmiri freedom struggle anymore. They've already made it a fight about religion, and they've already made it a fight about caliphate. So please wake up. Even they are not selling this story that you want to sell to the rest of the world. I'm completely out of time. Lieutenant Colonel Shafqat Saeed and Kamal Cheema, I'll still thank you for coming here, though wish we could have had a more constructive conversation. RSN Singh, Brigadier Mishra and Sushant Sareen, thank you so much for joining us.